bills to get you whacked. 50 shots up in this Mac. Face shots to make the news. We just step when they relax. Group chats to get you tapped. Foreign head up in my lap. When they pump, we run it back. Tell my youngin' cut no slack. 5 bills to get you whacked. 50 shots up in this Mac. Face shots to make the news. We just step when they relax. Group chats to get you tapped. Foreign head up in my lap. When they pump, we run it back. Tell my youngin' cut no slack. Impact and make it gooey. When I terrorize like Stewie. Gun chest, 10 choppers. Take my chances with this Uzi. Lil' baby, she might lose me. Attitude, my fashion bougie. I'm attentive with this duty. Like my bitch is bad with booty. Hero Deo, get some Louis. True religion, little Gucci. Black and Asian like Karuchi. Teacup, she dress her Poochie. Keep a hammer, count this Moochie. Y'all be tripping off they coochie. DPs, I beat like Boosie. Chopsticks with this sushi. Real hot boy like Tunchi. Blood stains on my blue feet. Navy with my crew meet. Clean up crew be too neat. Pros be moving too deep. All my roads been too steep. Rode them like I'm too deep. Daily like the news week. Money hustle, new streak. See and hate like who he. Solid rock come through me. Legend like I'm Bruce Lee. See these hoes, they group deep. Ruthless from that one street. Roof Chris when I won't steak. Niggas want that update. 5 bills to get you whacked. 50
What's the good old big deal with the good old people? It's your boy Young and Hefe. Don't care about number what the check say. Make sure you go ahead, like and subscribe, because it don't cost you nothing. Press that button, and if you ring that notification bell, I'm going to bring you mail. What's the good old big deal with the good old people? It's Hot Topics with your boy Young and Hefe, and I'm here to deliver you another one like the other one. So the recipient of Hot Topics for this segment is Bricc, baby. I know the other day he went to court, and as we all see and know, that motion for him to be out on bail, on home confinement, was shot down. It was shot down miserably. Now, you know we got the phone call with Bricc, baby, talking to Academic. And in that phone call, Bricc, baby, said that, I don't know if it was him or Luce, but I want to say they roughly said it was like a 70-80% chance or whatnot. Bricc even told Act like, hey, bro, you know, don't even trip. I'm going to come give you the rundown. You know, I'm going to come interview with you. Don't even trip. So, you know, Act like, all right, for sure. You know, if y'all need me, hit me. You know what I'm saying? Nothing illegal or anything like that. Got to make sure they know nothing illegal over that federal phone call. So, with that being said, we about to get into some of these facts pertaining to Bricc, baby paperwork and why he got denied. You know what I'm saying? Because reading his paperwork, they make Bricc, baby look like a cold maniac. And, you know, allegedly these is his words, I'm saying, through wiretaps. So it looked like he has the Title 15 wiretaps as well. And his phones is being tapped the same way they was on to Big U. It looked like they tapped Bricc, baby. Now, reading through this indictment, hopefully we can find out what reason was Bricc, baby phone compromised and tapped, for what reason. So this is the paperwork right here. So y'all see that right there. That's what we reading from. You know what I'm saying? We reading from that official indictment. We're gonna get into this content, and you already know it's the Hef way and the Hef effect. We're gonna commentate. Excuse me. So, y'all remember last year, I want to say that was last year, 2024, Bricc, baby was arrested. Now, that's when everything was going around in the media pertaining to the Lil Durk stuff and Quando Rondo. So, I'm not sure if when they took Lil Durk down and did the Lil Durk raids that they raided Bricc, baby, but I know it was in that same vicinity and or time. They raid Bricc, baby house. They go in there allegedly and they say they find an illegal AK. There's different AKs. You know, you got that Russian AK. that China AK, you know what I'm saying, different manufacturers and stuff like that. Different manufacturers, you know what I'm saying, different effects, you know what I'm saying? So they find that amongst other weapons. Now, what I want to know is, as I said, who compromised his phone and how was his phone compromised? Was it due to the alleged taxing that was going on that was in Big U paperwork? Or did it have anything to do with these guns? You know what I'm saying? Not these guns that they found, but something to do with guns. You know what I'm saying? Because I want to say he has like gun trafficking. You know, they're trying to charge him with gun trafficking. Then on top of that, Bricc is out on bail for those guns. And we all can spectate and say that the feds try to compromise him and try to talk to him about Big U or whatnot. We don't know. We wasn't there. It's all speculation. Only Bricc know, the police, and God. So a lot of people were thinking that the police try to holler at Bricc back then. It was like, hey, we own a Big U, don't say nothing. If you got any information, you can give us. You know what I'm saying? No, cuz, you know what I'm saying? Probably, you know what I'm saying, turned him down. They probably try to play that phone call like, look, man, I know you don't like that he be extorting you, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that. So it looked like Bricc don't fall for the trick in or okie doke. You know, people been coming out clearing his name and stuff like that. You've been hearing people say that he was a CS, he was a CI, you know what I'm saying? Oh, it's something funny with Bricc and stuff like that. But as we see, he's on his own case and own indictment and fighting his own thing. So Bricc is being charged with a 922G. And the 922G read, 922G is a federal law, part of the Gun Control Act that prohibits certain individuals from shipping or transporting or possessing or receiving firearms or ammunition, often due to prior felony convictions and other disqualifying factors. So with that being said, it's a gun control act. And this gun control act prohibits felons, anybody. You ain't even got to be arrested for no gun. If you ain't had no record and you went to jail for something felony based, and then you decide to have a gun without having it registered, and you get caught with it, you are a felon in possession of a firearm. That is the way the United States have it set up. And furthermore, they want to take your rights to bear arms. So this is just another trick of the trade. Take their rights to bear arms, and we can keep as much intel and knowledge on who do have guns. Although it's thousands and thousands of guns that's going to slip through, but we can say for sure we know these people over here got licensed guns versus you not supposed to having it, so we about to arrest you for it. So if you a felon, that Gun Control Act prohibits, you know what I'm saying, any individual from shipping, transporting, possession, receiving, you know what I'm saying, you ammunition, you know what I'm saying, you got any prior felonies, you fall up in this category. You know what I'm saying? You fall up in the 22G category. That is what a 22G is. And it looks like that they're trying to play the game of interstate commerce. You know what I'm saying? All right, so now let's get to it. You know what I'm saying? We're going to get to some of these little Janusi facts, you know what I'm saying, to why his bail was denied. So on February 20th, 2023, defendant stated that he did not respect the elder homies and will pop anyone on 6-0. This is a wiretap. They got a Bricc baby tripping on the dead homies. I ain't playing with no nigga. I'm a pop a nigga on 6-0. Bricc tripping. He ain't even knowing. I always say that. And that goes for everybody. You know what I'm saying? When you don't know you being tapped, the things you say and the things that's played back, man, I already went through this with my co-defendants, man. When you hear these dudes' conversations and stuff like that, when the person is not knowing they're being tapped, not knowing that the feds is on their trail, they talk remotely crazy and retarded over that phone. And this is another case and scenario where Bricc phone is tapped and compromised, and they hearing him state to another defendant that, you know what I'm saying, he didn't respect no elders, you know what I'm saying, of the 60s, and, you know what I'm saying, to pop something. So it looked like, you know, it was some struggles in, or, you know what I'm saying, some discomforts going on pertaining to whatever was going on with Bricc. So, furthermore, this is another wiretap. March 6, 2023. Defendant was on the phone with his mother when he told his mother that his child's mother was outside of his house. He told his mother his child mother in gangland and wanted to expire early. So this is another conversation. Bricc on his phone talking to his mama. You know what I'm saying? Whatever they talking about, they chopping it up. So pop goes the weasel. Bricc baby mama pop up. I don't know if this is the woman that he's with, his wife, or this is another baby mama. You know, I don't know what's going on. I don't know a situation. Right here, they got her as the mother of his child. You know what I'm saying? The child's mother. You feel me? I think if I serve myself correct, he got about like 2 kids or something like that. I don't know if it's about the same woman. However, she pop up at the residence, and obviously they beefing, and or Bricc ain't feeling her pertaining to something that she did, because he's on the phone with his mama, and he telling his mama this, like, baby mama just popped up in gangland, you know what I'm saying? She want to expire early. Bricc talking to moms like this. Bricc cold work. So, that's allegedly mentioned by Bricc through these Title 15 wiretaps. Defendant asked his baby mother if she wanted to die in front of her son on 6-0. This is a cold game. Now, for sure, them hearing this, if they spoke this in that courtroom, because this is an indictment, for sure, the magistrate, the judge was not letting him go. He's a menace to society, and he's showing through his words that he's a menace to society. I'm not going to say his ways because he ain't enacted and did anything, but this is the way they going to play it or place it. Like, he's talking about killing people. Man, look, I remember when I was fighting my case, right? And being that I was in Washington, and Washington had, the feds had a lot of, what's that called? They had a lot of business going on, like with the county contracts. They had a lot of contracts with the county jails out there in Washington, because the Eastern District of Washington didn't have a federal facility. So you can be in like one of the 10 county jails out there. And some of the county jails did have good perks, you know what I'm saying? You know, with the video visit monitoring, you getting to order food and stuff like that, versus if you land up in one of the other ones, you just going to be getting to talk on that phone and get to order commissary. So, where was I going with this? It had something to do with Bricc. So one day, my lawyer was using those perks to his advantage as well. So he was visiting me over the monitoring screen. And we had a conversation, you know what I'm saying, pertaining to me, you know what I'm saying, you know, the deal they was talking about like that, you know what I'm saying, trying to fight him, you know what I'm saying, trying to, you know, make it go down because it had just went up. And I'm like, you know, still in that state mentality to not knowing who I'm fighting, you feel me, in the totality I'm against. So, we have our video visit, and after our video visit was over, like a little Zoom call, it was on like a little monitor, a little roll box with the phone. They not knowing I'm still right there in the room. A lot of those lawyers thought that I had left, and some of them was waiting for some of my other co-defendants, which were their clients. When they thought I was gone, not knowing that I was still right there in earshot distance and the monitor was still on, just the conversation I heard from the lawyers, the people that's supposed to be representing us. Oh, those guys are murderers, you know, just reading through there, those guys are gangbangers, you know, and stuff like that. And I knew right then and there, like, man, these people ain't got no enthusiasm or really don't care about representing me and my folks. They don't. So, seeing all this that Bricc have said, they're definitely going to trip about this. I was basically given a 10-year sentence on something a CI told them I said. Now, I know this was a CI because I dealt with this person. So, nobody else don't know this was a CI unless I tell them this was a CI. But this would be business that I would have to handle. But I knew from the situation they explained, me having this dude in this car and me telling him, you know what I'm saying, and or threatening him, allegedly, that led to me getting 10 years because he was an informant on that case from that state, giving them information. And it helped him out. So, just based off these phone calls they got on Bricc alone with him talking crazy like that, no bueno. Back to this phone call. Asked his baby mother if she wanted to die in front of her son on 6-0. As defendant mother screamed at him to stop because he may be being recorded. So, again, he allegedly get at his baby mama. She pop up, probably not supposed to be over there. Hey, what's up? You weren't supposed to be in gangland. He tell her he'd knock her down allegedly in front of the little boy. Cold game. Cold game. You know what I'm saying? Allegedly. His mama screamed, boy, what's your problem? You tripping? Mom's on him. Mom's already must feel something. Probably seen the feds. Allegedly, you know, Mom's was a dope girl back in the day and or messing with dope boys. That's why his name is Bricc, baby. Moms know the signs and or probably smell them. Moms tell him, like, man, you hopping out there, you talking reckless. Boy, you don't even know if these people are recording you. And the whole time, it looked like these people factually was recording Bricc, baby. March 6, 2023, defendant told KC that police was acting stupid. He was tired of doing what they said. He was ready to shoot the mother of his child. Now, this is tricky right here. And this is what the police is saying, but these are Title 15 wiretaps, and these are supposed to be Bricc words. And I'm not just wondering in or gathering. I said I'm not just, I'm discombobulated on this part right here. Excuse me. But I'm definitely in wonderment and astonishment of what Bricc was getting at and talking about, telling whoever KC was that police were acting stupid. He was tired of doing what they said. He was ready to shoot the mother of his child. So I don't even know what to think of this, because like I don't know if this is a child custody battle he got going on with his baby mama. They playing tug of war and he's just tired of playing with her. But as you can see and hear, y'all seeing me talk, but the work is right here. You know what I'm saying? Bricc is under a whole bunch of distress, and I don't know what he's talking about with that. And yeah, and just hopefully, you know, I don't know, you know what I'm saying, if we gonna find out more. But that part right there was crazy. Other threats detail him saying he gonna slam his baby mama on her neck and stuff like that. So I can read over a lot of threats. It's a lot of threats of him going back and forth and just ranting and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Defendant continues to threaten violence and carry firearms and discuss both. For example, in March 2024, defendant crashed out at his place of employment, threatening to shoot people and eventually fighting a security guard. Defendant later admitted in a separate interview that he had a firearm. So I know y'all remember that famous photo right there. You know what I'm saying? That everybody, you know what I'm saying, had with Bricc Baby going crazy and stuff like that, tripping. Bricc Baby hopped up on them steroids that day. You know what I'm saying? They definitely had got up under Bric's skin and had Bricc mad or whatever. So this is around the time that situation happened with him and DW Flame. DW Flame, you know what I'm saying, let the derogatory term that people use for cigarettes from certain gangs slip out his mouth. He said, excuse me. Bricc like, oh, you know, man, you know, I ain't tripping. I know how I go, man. I'll be dissing, you know what I'm saying, when I'm with the homies, you know what I'm saying, in my little spare time, you feel me? And I might have to say, excuse me one day, you know. He understood the situation to where a lot of other people didn't understand the situation. A lot of the spectators, they was on Bricc head. You let him diss the end, you let him diss the hood. You need to handle that. You know, he was getting called out his name, all type of stuff like that. So that was last year, March. So right here, they like he crashed out at his place of employment. No jumper. So they're also going to feel like and say that no jumper is not a safe place of employment for him. Not based on no jumper, based on his acts and allegations and things he described over these Title 15 wiretaps. This is Bricc Baby words, you feel me? They're going off their own words. You know what I'm saying? They're convicting them as of right now. They're going through the phase of fighting, you know what I'm saying, of not being convicted because of stuff that came out their mouth, words that came out their mouth. So Bricc Baby is saying, you know, he fought a security guard. Defendant later admitted that he had a gun. And like the feds do what they want to do. I want to sit here and say they can't charge him with a gun, but I'm seeing them people make rules up as they go along, and they really can do what they want to do. And being that he's been caught with previous guns allegedly before, and that's what he's in jail for, you know, they might just like, you know what I'm saying, go with it. You know what I'm saying? Even if they don't, it'll still factor in some way in there. Let's just say if he take it to trial, because they go, like I said, they're going to throw the whole toolbox, kitchen, sink, everything at you. So they're just going to mention that, you know what I'm saying, implemented in or implicated in you being caught with these firearms. So better watch what you saying, because they definitely using them words against you, man, because they using their own words against them in this indictment. I'm reading it. In June 2024, defendant over the phone with an individual he had claimed to kill more people than the other had fought. Defendant stated that he swore to it to be true on his 4 babies. So looks like again last year, June 2024, for whatever reason, they on Bricc line, got Bricc phone tapped. Bricc talking to somebody, amongst them arguing, going back and forth. Bricc tell the dude, like, look, man, I got more skulls than, you know what I'm saying, you got fights. I got more bodies than you got fights, allegedly. You know what I'm saying? This is what's here on the paper from the Title 15 wiretaps. This is what they saying. They recorded Bricc saying. So Bricc arguing with somebody. They probably going back and forth, conversations getting heated. You know, people don't want to go back and forth trying to eliminate the conversation. Look, what's up? Just pull up and we can just get to it, crash out if that's what you really want to do. If not, shut up. But look like Bricc told him, like, look, boy, you playing, I got more bodies than, you know what I'm saying, you got fights. And put it on his 4 babies, allegedly. On my 4 babies. Which he repeated many times. In later attempts to downplay his claims, defendant stated that even if he had one murder, that would be more than the other persons had fights. So again, we see earlier on his mama checking, allegedly when he hop out there talking about unaliving his baby moms. Moms hop right in the picture like, man, what is you talking about, bruh? Watch your mouth. You sound stupid. These people could be recording. So he had a little crash out phase. Y'all remember all that distress he was going through. He was tripping like he was ready to go up with anybody. You know what I'm saying? It seemed like, you feel me? A lot of pressure was coming his way. You know, a lot of people was tapping his ear. Hey, bro, what's up, bro? You gonna just let him get off like that? You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. So it looked like he was under a lot of pressure and distress. And then y'all seeing these other up in it earlier in the paperwork, him talking about he tired of doing what the police want him to do and stuff like that. And we still, like I said, I'm not trying to throw no slander or anything out there, but we definitely trying to figure out what the hell is going on pertaining to that. Like, why was that statement made? Was that like a figure of speech, the wrong statement? You didn't mean to say that. You were just under pressure and said the wrong thing. Might have just meant to say, like, man, I'm tired of these people messing with me. Like, but yeah, it's a cold game, man. So he say that. So on March 18th, 2025, the same individual who previously threatened to have more scolds than he had squabbles joined same podcast during the filming. Defendant showed he had a gun on his waistband. So what I'm trying to wonder is, they trying to say he was having this conversation with Loose Cannon. Was he talking to Loose Cannon, telling Loose Cannon he got more bodies than Loose Cannon got fights? Loose Cannon was out here getting busy and he didn't care, and he was filming himself whooping shit out. So I don't know, man. Bricc Baby must got a lot of skulls, because Loose Cannon was whooping stuff out and allegedly stripping people, having people running around, all type of crazy stuff. Like he definitely didn't care. But this is the photo and or footage. So, to get to that, right? That night, I knew something was wrong, and I kind of knew it probably was like almost the end of the world or something like that, because I didn't expect to see Bricc Baby on stage with Loose Cannon. So, as we come to know in this social media space, a lot of this stuff be controversy, a lot of this stuff be plays, a lot of these dudes got each other number, a lot of these dudes talking, a lot of these dudes sitting back, yeah, we just did this, what we gonna do tomorrow? You know what I'm saying? We about to play them, this about to be good, we about to get views, you know what I'm saying? A lot of dudes are trying to crack the code to social media, so they're coming with outlandishment, you know what I'm saying, outlandish behavior, and just doing whatever, you know what I'm saying? They just acting wild, you know what I'm saying? Living in the wild, you know what I'm saying? As if, they have no proper structure. So I'm looking at this. I'm like, okay, Loose Cannon and Bricc cool. Then I do remember a few months back when they had a phone call. They was playing, everybody playing recording games with each other, and they was on the line. And one of them, I want to say, I don't know if it was Bricc or Loose, but one of them had mentioned about sending a play the other's way. Like, yeah, you didn't know that was me? Yeah, I sent that play to you. Oh, no, you know what I'm saying? And stuff like that. Oh, yeah, I did this for you. One hand's watching the other. I mean, yeah, you know it's all good. You know what I'm saying? We got to make it look good for the camera. They had this conversation. But, you know, social media forget these things and or don't care, because social media is here for the play. You know what I'm saying? The enjoyment. You know what I'm saying? They here for it. You know what I'm saying? Controversy. You know, whatever it may be. You know what I'm saying? They're here for it. So, with that, I'm looking. They talk about their differences, their situation. Oh, you know what happened? You feel me? So Loose Cannon come out. Oh, Bricc Baby a real dude. You know, I ain't gonna lie. I didn't think he was gonna be on that. You know, he pulled up on me. You know, we ran into each other and he was tripping. You know, he was clutching. He had his thing. You know, I stood my ground, but he was ready to do whatever. Later on, however, that might have been Bricc on that Vegas trip when he went out there gambling and stuff like that. It looks like he might have ran into Loose Cannon, but just stayed quiet about it. So obviously they was in the same place to be. They was partying, being that earlier, you know what I'm saying, allegedly Bricc was clutching on Loose to have his thing. Loose got his thing, you know what I'm saying? They was back inside, you know what I'm saying, the same environment. Loose, you know what I'm saying, wanted it to be seen allegedly that he had a big thing hanging off his hip. Now, that night, as y'all seeing them photos, I couldn't understand that. And I was thinking in my mind, like, what the hell is Bricc Baby doing just flashing his gun? Like, is he trolling? Do he want Loose Cannon to see this? Like, yeah, if you try anything, I'm strapped up and I'll pop you. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't understand him being, and that's how you know, like, you gotta factor in, like, it gotta be the drugs with bro. You know what I'm saying? You out on bail, or at least he thought the case was throughout, whether neither here or there. You know you just got caught by the feds. They raided your shit, and you sit on a live No Jumper podcast, flossing a burner on your waist. That was a cold no. See, that's where I think like us as people get caught up in these fabs and these fashion statements and trying to make things look good and capture an audience. Like, cause that was the wrong move. Furthermore, the feds raid his house that next morning. Hours later, you know what happened? They raid the house, go in the house, they apprehend the gun that was allegedly he had on no jumper. They're allegedly saying it was a Glock 17, 9mm, 17 shots. Said it had 16 shots in the gun. Said the gun was out. Said when they came into the pad, the gun was in the vicinity for his child to reach it. So in the paperwork, it's reading child endangerment and all type of stuff. So these are other red flags and definitely no-nos that got him shut down from not going home, because the judge is not playing them games and are going for that. Like, you are already out and being investigated for these guns and whatever else. You on TV steady playing in mockery, and then they come to the house and apprehend the gun. And I didn't want to be the first one to throw that out there, but I was already thinking when I was seeing him on live television, like this thing with him and Loose Cannon's already off. Something crazy going on. Then when my man kept rocking back and forth, I'm like, oh my God. They keep showing that like everything is going to resolve at the end of the day around something incriminating, and you don't want to incriminate yourself. And yeah, that was just like a man, a cold, unfortunate situation, man. Cold, unfortunate situation. And I know Bricc probably felt like that he was going to get bail, because he like, I'm not on this big U indictment, but actually this child endangerment and other stuff you got going on, they ain't throwing no dice. So with that being said, man, we gonna conclude this right there, man. It's your boy Young and Hefe. Don't care about number what the check say. Make sure you go ahead and like and subscribe, because it don't cost you nothing. Press that button, and if you ring that notification bell, I'm gonna bring you mail.
No, you capping. Man, I might make some niggas mad with this shit here, right? But I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna keep it real. Man, half of these niggas around here the police. And y'all got them hanging out with you. Half of these niggas that got on the stand, my nigga, and testified on niggas, right? But them y'all homeboys. They come home, y'all celebrate them. Y'all got them at boo, coo, this, all this shit come around. That's why I don't fuck with these niggas. Cause them be the same niggas that got them gonna get on the stand and testify against your ass when y'all here in the streets. See, that's why I got the way, dog. It ain't nothing out here but niggas gonna tell on each other. Get on the stand and testify. Oh, it's niggas around here done testified on niggas. I got paperwork, niggas done testified, got on the stand on niggas, and don't even got nothing to do with the motherfucking case. That's how scared these niggas is around here. Fuck they talking about. It can happen to you.